Hello, everybody. My name is Eminem, and welcome. I think I already made that joke, didn't I? Did I? Fuck, I don't remember.
I don't know. I haven't. But
Alright, shit. Anyways, fucking episode 4. Episode 4. I'm smart. It's episode 4 time. I think this is the episode where
yeah.
Michael cuts the anime club, if I recall.
No, that'd be next
Fuck.
episode. But this is the episode that sets everything. Yeah. Well, originally would have been episode 3 had episode 2 not existed.
Yeah.
So
alright.
yeah, it's kind of crazy just looking back. Yeah, just like looking back, like had episode 2 not existed, the anime club arc would have been like so fucking short.
Oh, yeah.
Like just like with everything that happened. So Joel with the big brain just having the foresight slow shit down, which
my thing.
I'll say
I'm gonna be honest. I was kind of scared because I think I was at the time. I think I was with y'all for a year, but still, I was like, is it in my position to make shots at the writing? I wasn't too sure about that one. Like, I'm not really a writer, but I can tell good writing from bad writing, at least. Now, can I do that myself? Fuck no. I've played enough dumb shit games to at least know when I like a story. And I'm gonna be honest, at first I did not give a shit about this story. I just coded because I was told to. But hey, I like the story now, so you love to see it.
You're the like it, I hope.
I like the story now, don't get me wrong, but originally I was like, I'm not too sure about this one.
Yeah, like looking back, like the earlier drafts, like that the whole plan to do like 10 episodes, I'm just like, man, this actually would be dog shit.
This.
I know we talked about that during our episode 3 review, and I think we mentioned it throughout, but it
would have just been a rush unless all the episodes would have been like 2-3 hours, then it would have been a rushed mess. Because all the episodes, I think episode 1 and 2, they're about, I think, an hour, maybe, depending. I mean, like, we spent 2 hours talking about them, but that's just because we like to hear ourselves talk. I think realistically it would probably take someone like 30 to maybe an hour at the very most to play episode 1 and 2. And then I think the other ones, they get longer because, like, for reference, I think episode 1 and 2, they're both about 40 pages, give or take. And then I don't know if it's episode 3 onward, but I know at a point
it does tend to get longer after this arc, especially like 1 through 5. I think the average was like probably like I don't know, like 30, 35
something like
pages,
that.
But then
then everything just and then it all averaged out to about 60
after episode. Yeah,
I know. Actually, I remember I did see a message you sent. I remember. I remember seeing a message you sent in the old Spaghetto group chat where you listed all of the page lengths, and if I recall, episode 1 was about 35, and I pretty much everything after episode 5 or so was at 60. I think all the pages in total came out to 804, if I recall the message correctly. Something along that.
It was something like that, but actually, I'm actually trying to find that message. I remember it being 800. I think it was more like 300. I do remember the finale, like episodes 14 to 17 combined, was like
was 270 something. If I recall,
it was 219. Okay, you actually still.
Okay, I was close. Fuck off. I guess this is a fun fact. If you've seen my actual Discord account, I think I still have that number listed on my status. What the fuck is focus mode? Yeah, custom status. Yeah, welp, guess that's it, 219 through 219. I think I've had that for about a year on my status. I've never cared to change it.
I've kept it up for that long. Like, I thought you would change it by now.
I was too lazy. Because I'll give Discord credit. The status length is actually pretty long, which I do like. Because, like, usually how mine goes is usually, like, some kind of song lyric. And then it's the page and then my song parody album thing. But yeah.
Okay, I found it. Okay, so yeah, actually, so you were right. It was so the whole story is 802 pages. Okay. So I'll just read this off, like kind of like rapid fire it, and I'll just kind of also just I'll just tag you in this, in case you just want to throw this on screen.
I'm looking at it right now.
Whenever you do your,
I'm looking at it right now.
No, I'll just make this easier for you. So
fucking Gold getting a ping in this group chat that hasn't been touched since like fucking March of last year.
Yeah, episode 1 was 33 pages, episode 2 was 38, episode 3 was 38, episode 4 was 29. Wow. That was actually the shortest. Wow. Episode 5 was 40, episode 6 was 40, episode 7 27. So I'm sorry, episode 8 was the shortest. So actually, episode 8 was 27 pages. So actually, I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll remember it when we get to it, but I know that part of episode 9, I think, was originally going to be within episode
That's probably
8,
why it's 61 pages.
But, like, yeah, because, like, there was, like, that whole end, like, at the scene at the end, between, I believe it was between Ruby and Shiro. That conversation was going to take place at the end of episode 8, but we decided to, like, I think we decided to cut that from episode 8 and put that into episode 9
Okay, instead. That makes sense.
So, and that's where it kind of, like, the page length takes off. Yeah. So, yeah, episode 9 was 61, episode 10 was 58, episode 11 was 58, episode 12 was 55, episode 13 was 66, so that was by far the longest. Yeah. And I'm not counting the finale, of course, which that was a total of 219, but split up, episode 14 was 48, episode 15 was 12, episode 16 was 60 pages, and episode 17 was 60.
Alright,
so,
alright.
Yeah, basically after episode 8, it's just like skyrockets because like it kind of averages. I'd say I'm probably around 35 to 40 from episode 1 to 8, and then episode 9 till 17
about
is like
50,
I don't know, probably
55,
like
somewhere around that.
Yeah, 50-ish.
I'll say 55.
So yeah, the episodes do kind of take longer as you go on, but at least for the first arc, I think that
they're all relatively short. They're only
at least like
I think I remember. I don't know if I ever mentioned my actual coding process for all this. I did 10 pages a day. That was like my goal was at least to get 10 pages a day because like you said, I think it was 5 pages a day originally, but as the episodes got longer, then I had to beef up the amount that I was coding. So yeah, it ended up being 10 a day. I did more or less depending on what I had to code because sometimes there was like long breaks of dialogue that I didn't really have to do much in. I don't know if I ever said like exactly what coding I did. I'm assuming people kind of get the general gist of what coders do, but I realized I never really explained that. So, the sprites mainly. That's a lot of what I did is put up the sprites on screen. Not this in particular with the menu. That was Ultra. But throughout the entire mod, when you see the characters doing their pose or whatever, that was me. That's me putting in the T11s and shit. Well, that's placement, but you get what I mean. Backgrounds, music, all that shit. A lot of that is where I come in, and then I essentially put it in the mod and play it and shit. So that's a lot of what I do.
Yeah, you kind of basically laid the foundation.
Yeah,
you laid the foundation. Yeah. You did like kind of like the grunt work that I didn't
that
want to do.
No one wants to do because
Spaghetto clearly wouldn't. Yeah, and clearly Spaghetto doesn't know how to do.
Yeah, true.
Didn't know how to do. I don't know what he does.
I remember back when this was a couple months ago. I remember I made a Reddit post saying that the coders deserve more love, and I got shit on so much for that. I think the Reddit community in the DDMC was more accepting for that post. The Discord community, they burned me at a stake. Fuck our coders, kill them.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not active in that Discord server, but, like, I mean, I poke my head in there.
DDMC ain't all bad. I mean, unsurprisingly, some of the mods are assholes, but I think every Discord server has those couple, like, mod groups that are assholes.
I mean...
A lot of the community's cool, though.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but, yeah, I mean... Yeah, but, to explain how the whole kind of actual work process worked, touch upon it, so... I would write, so Spaghetto with like, well, okay, so during the whole writing process, obviously, we kind of went episode by episode, but obviously, we had like general ideas, which, those became the arcs, and then like specific details that we wanted, we tried, to work that into the episode, and obviously work those ideas to make a, like a contingent story. So Spaghetto would kind of like tell me what he would want, and then I would just like kind of just based on like what I think the best way to incorporate that idea was to like to tell the story. As this was a linear mod, like, from point A to point B. Not unlike Encore, which, like a whole bunch of factors into account. Like I had to kind of account for like all these little variations, like if the player made this choice on this day and that choice on that day, but they were
and
like,
a lot of
with
people are
the
mad
day before. It kind of got complicated. It got kind of complicated, and it was very hard to keep track of all of that. But I was able to do that. But at least with branching paths, it was very kind of a brush of fret there. That it's like okay, like it's just one straight line. Like I don't really have to like overcomplicate this. So that was nice. So
a lot of people got mad at us
obviously,
for
we took the
having
idea
a linear
whatever.
mod because the mod is called branching path, so people take that at face value and immediately think that it's going to be filled of actual branching paths. Shut up. That's not.
Joel, are you saying that a group of people on the internet are taking things that like never happens?
Shit, you make a good point. I've never heard of people doing that before. Sorry.
Especially the DLC
yes.
fandom, which gets offended over
yes.
fucking every little thing, it seems.
That's true.
At any rate,
we love and hate this community.
I feel like I'll probably get.
I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if anyone in the DDMC was actually watching this. Hello to the people that is.
And if you are,
hi.
And I would just say, if you are, fuck you. Not
damn.
really. It's okay. I love you. Hearts
heart
all
emoji,
around.
Heart emoji.
But anyways, back to the process. So, I would do my thing. I would write out the episodes. I would have a draft, and then I'd give that draft to Joel. Obviously, if I had any questions or anything, I was unsure about something, I'd obviously double check with Spaghetto. I would hand off the draft to Joel. He would do his thing. He would code just like the basic, like essentially like any effects that he knew how to do off the top of his head.
I cannot wait to get to this one specific
he would hand the files over to me.
I'm sure you know which one I'm talking about.
Oh boy. I know. I think I do. I think I do. So
can't wait to get to that episode.
We'll talk about it when we get to there, but yeah, that's later. But so Joel would hand over like basically kind of like a rough draft of the code. Yeah. And like obviously, of course, like especially during the early days, like where we only had like 1 or 2 sprites, so a lot of the time it was just looking at a blank screen.
Yeah.
It's like we kind of always joke. It's like the MC was like having or Michael was having like a fucking episode, just like talking to thin air. Or there was like times where like we didn't have any of the more minor characters on screen, so it's just like literally just like empty space. It's like the reader's having a fucking episode. So that was funny sometimes, just like but yeah. So obviously, sometimes like probably from a droid development, it was kind of like that, where like we were like missed like one sprite, but it wasn't like towards like the end
where we pretty much had everything.
Like I think probably like the second to last arc. Like I think it was probably around Dueling Hearts where we probably had
a lot of the weight for this mod. Did end up being the assets, because I think it took us a couple months after everything was. It was pretty much after all the base coding was done. Then all we were pretty much doing was either we were tinkering with the mod to get some things to look better, like the main menu, or we were trying to pull some kind of effect that sometimes worked, sometimes didn't. But yeah, the assets, like the backgrounds, we didn't commission too many backgrounds, but a lot of the CGs, they took a while. A CG on average took about 2 weeks.
Art is what took a while.
And this isn't us blaming the artist. Art is a very tedious and not grueling, but art is a very meticulous process, and we would rather take something longer if the end result is way better. We never try to rush any of our artists. So we were fine waiting, because the CGs were going to be fucking great in the end. So we didn't mind the wait.
Yeah, it did take a poor Kyoryii like pretty much the entire length of the sprites.
Yeah.
And we split up the orders as well, so like it was an all-at-once thing. Cause, like
that would be stressing. That would be stressing.
Well,
by the way, I need you to give me 27 sprites at the end of the week. I think we just got.
Yeah, that just
stick figures.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, because I mean, granted, so we asked for like 2 characters back in 2019, which that was Mr. Sawinski and Michael's mom, and then I guess fall 21, basically, I'm gonna say basically the end of 2022. Kyoryii was working on those sprites for like over.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, and like it maybe took like. Obviously, some sprites were like were less complicated than others. Some we asked for more, others we asked for less. But like, I want to say on average, it maybe like probably like we probably got a sprite set like a month.
Something like that.
So we just kind of just got by with what we could, and again like not complaining about like the art process. Like again, like it is what it is, and again we were grateful that we got the sprites and that they turned out phenomenal and we didn't have any problems with the sprites. In the coding or development of that.
Gotta like all the leg room we were getting when it came to fucking around the sprites in Photoshop too. I think we mentioned that in episode 2 because there was a part of Kayla's eyebrow that was just cut off or some shit.
Yeah, we also always like structured the request to be like it would be like sent to us in pieces, so we could also make some custom expressions or poses if like the scene fell appropriate or it's like something we just didn't account for at the time.
Yeah.
And that happened a lot. Like a lot. Like probably most of the expression files of all these probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that was fun. I mean, some sprites were easier to work with than others, but yeah. But anyway, so we would obviously take whatever assets we would have, like and use them. And I would like make any corrections to the expression poses that I felt were suitable for the scene. I did some special effects myself that like I knew how to do, or if like something just like came to me as we could do this. So I did some coding work myself.
Yeah, you did a lot of
and then once when the extra sprites came in,
you did a lot of those too. Like when because Victor, I think like Victor for example, he came in.
Yeah,
he,
like
the
a lot
arc.
of times as well. Like
I think we got Victor in the third arc. I think you coded in all of his sprites, for example.
Yeah, like sometimes as well. It's like when we got like sprites, like for a character when they first appeared back in episode like say 2, and like we didn't have the sprites from, so like I would have to go back add them in retroactively and do all that, which again I mean I didn't mind doing. But yeah, that's something I did as well. Going back and adding in stuff that as we got it. So yeah, so once we had like basically like as much as a finished product as we had like with the assets that we had at the time, we would present it to Spaghetto. We would like coordinate a call, which when we were able to get him to call, I mean usually like it. Yeah, that's a kind of a big hassle, like getting a call going. Like saying aside time for
because I mean because Ultra
sit down, review,
Ultra and Spaghetto, they both had work and I had school at the time, so I mean like I wasn't absolutely required to be at these calls, but at the same time I'm awesome, so of course you're gonna have me there. So it had to be like after when I got out of school, and then Ultra and Spaghetto had to find a time for when their schedules aligned.
Because when we started development of this like full time again fall 2021. I was on the afternoon shift for my job, and I had like very weird days off. I had Tuesday and Wednesday off, and Spaghetto was working at a retail job, which apparently was like trying to make him work 24/7.
Pretty much, yeah, I remember that.
So like he had like very limited availability. I was only available during certain times, or like again Tuesday, Wednesday. So it was a hassle to coordinate going on in Spaghetto's life, which again I won't get into. So it was able to coordinate, times. When we were able to review it, we would sit down, review the episode. Usually we were able in one session. Enough. Sometimes 2, sometimes 3 if the episodes were longer. And then, we would make any changes and then be for the next episode.
Oh, I remember those meetings.
So, yeah, kind of like the nitty-gritty details of like how this was actually
made. I realized we never talked about that process, which we probably should have, because, I mean, this mod took us, a year and a half to make, but a lot of it was I think outside from art, I think coding took the longest. I think writing and coding was kind of 50-50.
Again, like done writing from start to finish. I was like, again, I think we started October of 2021, and I was able to finally finish up writing in January of last year of 2023.
Yeah,
and it's not the reason it took me a while to write that was that I never want to write so far ahead to where like if some detail needed to be changed, like say 3 or 4 episodes back, then it would risk like affecting like the episodes that come after it. Because how I structured the script, it was like kind of think of it like a house Jenga blocks. Like well, if you change like one detail potentially, well, this is going to affect this detail in the next episode, like this, and if it's like a big detail, like I'm planning like something foreshadowing, well, it's like, oh well, fuck, like how am I gonna make this work then? So thankfully, we were able to avoid those types of situations. But as a writer, I like to try to plan for everything, and I planned like all the foreshadowing, all the details was very deliberate, and it was always a very meticulous. So I was very sensitive to the nature of like, if we change one, I mean, I was open to change, like, and like if something needed to be changed, like I'm all for that. But like if we had to change like something in say episode 2, then it's like, well, I don't want to risk like say if I'm at episode 7 and I'm kind of basing it off of like stuff that happened in episode 2 because like it's relevant, for example, and it was referenced in episodes like 3 through 6, then it's like, well, I kind of have to like rework like a lot of shit. So I want to avoid like kind of falling into that trap. So that's why I never too far ahead. Like I think most I ever wrote ahead, if that. And not to mention, I always wanted to have Spaghetto try to sign off on the rough drafts, which I don't think he ever actually read the drafts. Like he saw the episode when it was like ready to go, like kind of in this rough draft state with like whatever code and assets we had on the screen. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's our segment for a making of actually. So
one day I'll do a full ass tutorial of how to code, how to do the boring process of coding DDLC mods. It's very rewarding though, I guess.
Yeah, it's the unsexy part of modding.
I mean, there is some sexy moments if you get a good writer. As far as you can throw him. What the fuck does that mean? Who the fuck is throwing who?
Yeah.
I know it's not Shiro.
Kind of ironically is a reference to Shiro.
Hell no.
Like, I'm not sure. Like, the title of the episode wasn't like a dig at Shiro, but basically, it's kind of like I guess it's a metaphor. I guess that'd be the right term for it. It's basically a metaphor to say it's like, like you trust someone as far as you could throw them. So it's like, like I mean, granted, it's like, oh, like well. The idea is like, well, I can't throw this person very far. Then it's like, then the idea is like, well, you can't trust them that much. So the whole point of this episode is that Michael begins to lose trust and faith in Shiro as things about him start to come to light, and Michael starting to believe that Shiro is the person that like the make him out to be. So hence that can't really throw Shiro very far per se. So yeah, it's an unintentional.
We're so
Shiro, but the title was inspired by it was inspired by Shiro, and also I got that saying from a game that I played called Star Wars: The Old Republic, which it's actually the name of a mission for a side a side story mission for the Imperial Agent story between if you play the Imperial Agent and your first companion named Kaleo, who is she is a very untrustworthy figure, so to speak. Basically, making it long story short, and like one of the missions that you have to do with her is called "As Far as You Can Throw Her," and I was playing like SWTOR a lot like during that time. I mean, I played SWTOR for years, but I think I was like around the time I wrote it. I think I was playing my Imperial Agent, so I was like, and I saw that mission title, or I was reminded about it, like I just remembered it for whatever reason as I was like trying to name the episode, and I was like,
Star Wars jump scare.
Yeah, so I liked it.
Next day arrives and I'm already at school. I would fucking hope so. Gotta get this plot going somehow.
Yeah, so basically this is Michael just reflecting on stuff again, and and
you know what we should have done? We should have had it to where Victor was smaller, so he appeared further down the corridor, even though he doesn't have legs. That'd still be fucking funny.
Yeah, that would have been a little awkward. I mean, granted, we could have played this off. We could have actually played this moment off in the CG. Now that I'm thinking about it,
maybe.
Again,
I don't think Victor is in a CG. I think he's one of the only characters that doesn't make a CG appearance.
I think you're right.
I know. There's a very select few characters that doesn't have some kind of CG appearance. I think Bella and Valerie, if I recall, they don't either. Right, I know Kai and Randy, Michael, Shiro, Sam, Kayla, Ruby, obviously. Wait, does Ruby? Oh yeah, she does in the picture. Mr. Hara and Zawinski, they don't either. But I'm pretty sure all the main characters at least get get a CG appearance, but I know a good chunk of them don't. But a lot of the ones that don't are just kind of those side characters that they have their role in the story, but not enough to get a CG. You're not that cool, buddy.
Yeah, so the idea with Victor, like, just being creeper is, like, I was kind of inspired by you'll notice by Slender, the 8 pages, like, the idea that, it's like, this faceless creep is like just like following
Victor
you around.
Has a face.
So, well, yeah, so he's not Slender in that sense, but like the idea that, like, he's like always in the background, always following you.
Oh, fun fact! Ultra
obviously,
wrote.
If you approach Slender, you die.
Oh yeah, fun fact! Ultra and I coded a fucking Slenderman DDLC mod that was posted to YouTube. That video did so poorly.
I don't know.
Well, to be fair, we were like 2 months off of Halloween, if I recall.
Something like that, yeah. Like, it was very.
Yeah, we were very bad when it came to deadlines because we would try to get the Halloween mod done on Halloween, and then it'd be done on fucking Christmas or whatever. I know the mods that I wrote because I wrote a couple.
more of Spaghetto's reliability issues. Yeah, and then this is the irony that that Michael realizes that Victor is in class.
I like how he just never noticed. I like how the fuck did neither of them ever notice?
Again, the idea Victor always knew that Mike was in class because he was like always like following, reporting on Michael's activities to Kai. Again, Victor was always like kind of always in the background, so Michael didn't realize.
I like to think this isn't even Victor's class. He's just there. He's just blending in.
He's just like casually just dropping in.
I already took this class last semester, but shit. Michael, jump out the window!
Yeah, it's like, I already know.
Jump out the window!
Yeah, so then this is Victor's first run-in with Michael here, like when they actually talk to each other. Yeah, so basically, during this whole thing, again, just Victor is trying to just intimidate Michael. Telling him to like listen to Kai, you fucking idiot.
And then Michael's like, "Nuh-uh, little buddy, I don't like you or your money."
Yeah, so actually, I do want to talk about this line briefly. Okay, so it is I believe it's a karate tech. So, or is it kung fu or karate? I honestly can't remember, but so I actually I was inspired by that from my job. So my supervisor at the time taught hung guard classes. Like, that was like his kind of like his side gig. So I of course wanted to have Victor like actually be intimidating and like him like actually being capable to fight. So I was thinking of like what could like this guy like do, like what's his skill set. And I thought just like saying kung fu or karate a little generic, so I wanted to go with something a little bit more niche. And now, obviously, if somebody doesn't know anything about kung fu karate or like its various forms, obviously, Hungar wouldn't you wouldn't know what the fuck Hungar is unless you Googled it. So it's more of a like kind of like a little Easter egg for those who know.
But Victor should just try to bribe Michael.
I mean, he actually will.
Oh, he does. I like how forgetful I am of my of the story I worked on for like. Oh yeah, he does. I like how no way that's real money.
Yeah. Another call. Again, I know we talked about this last episode when Victor made his debut. But like, yeah, like I wasn't a big fan of the idea of like just having like a giving Victor like a breast pocket full of cash, but it ended up working out because I was able to do a moment
all
like that.
$1 bills for the vending machine.
Yeah, and
Victor backstory.
And here
Victor
we go.
Backstory.
Yeah, so here we go a little bit into Victor's backstory, which again we don't really dive in too much throughout the show, but.
I like how poor guy like Kai
we at least get the rundown.
A double meaning. Literally a poor guy as in ain't got no damn green. Or poor guy as in, oh, look at the poor little fucker.
Again, one thing about Kai as well is like about his backstory is that Kai is from the hood and he doesn't have a lot of money. And actually, funny enough, thanks story. So it goes into Kai's living situation.
Oh yeah, we never visit the projects. I think Michael would have gotten killed if he did.
Yeah, Michael would have like stepped out of the car and he would have gotten shot on sight.
Well, that would be great to explore in the second season. They go to the fucking projects just to find someone, and then they almost get shot.
Yeah. Yeah, if we do that, yeah, that actually would be something I'd be kind of interested to explore. Just like other locations outside the
Yeah,
school. Which I mean, we visit some
we
locations outside the school, but like it would be
school is where
nicer to
everything really takes place.
explore. Yeah, it'd be nice to kind of branch out.
Maybe
No pun
have
intended,
some
and just like
branching
explore
paths.
the rest of Saint Salvato. Yeah, like to explore the rest of Saint Salvato would also.
Yeah, because
Nice,
a lot of the story does take place in the school. I mean, they are high schoolers, so But I mean, yeah, there are other moments, but I think a lot of the important things happen in the actual school, though, if not all of them.
Yeah, pretty much. And then this is also just another opportunity for to like kind of add a layer to Shiro and Kai not getting along, because they both have different upbringing, or members of different social classes. Shiro and his family being obviously more well off than Kai, so there is that aspect.
Kai hates rich people. I mean, I hate rich people too. I don't blame him.
Kai's not like that, but like again, it's just another angle to like why these two characters do not mix.
Yeah.
And then this is obviously Shiro kind of scheming.
Go to basically roast him in public. Man, they should have just done this shit again. I don't see why they didn't.
Yeah, which honestly, also, this is like I didn't intentionally do this at the time when I wrote it, but this is actually foreshadowing what happened in the end to why Kai has his down when Sam called. Well, granted, it wasn't exactly in public per se, but when Sam challenges Kai and gets him really worked up.
Yeah, we should have just done this again. We're fucking before Charlotte becomes a vegetable. So you fucking look at your yee ass haircut.
You don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Maybe if you got rid of that old yee ass haircut you got, you get some bitches on your dick. Oh, better yet, maybe Tanisha will call your dog ass if she ever stop fucking with that brain surgeon, the lawyer she fucking with.
What? Yeah, and then in this scene, like Michael, confronts Shiro again, like, is this true? And he obviously not forcefully denies it again. So, kind of adds some doubt that again, maybe it just rumors and Shiro's being genuine. But it adds uncertainty. So you don't really know what to believe here at this point, which I think is enticing for the audience that they just keep playing, see what's the truth here. Did Shiro really
what's the truth and what is the consequence? Oh shit.
Which that's funny enough, the name of the last arc.
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah, and then basically that whole them Michael and Shiro just basically talk about, it's like, can we get help from the school, and they're like, basically it's like, well, they're useless. And that whole aspect again, kind of a commentary on the public system, which how it's like on one hand it's like they say bullying is a very serious issue, but that it's like they don't seem to really do anything about it. Like so much stuff just is it swept under the rug or just never really addressed. So it's kind of that situation.
Ironically enough,
again, it's another a sad but real fact, reality of the life that and I was able to that for the story and just kind of put that on display here. I will say the whole point of the story is not to criticize the public system or not, even though, believe me, I have my fair share of criticism of it. I mean, I'm sure you do as well, Joel.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can't say that. I can't say I 100% enjoyed public school, but I mean, it wasn't all that bad at the end of the day. But yeah, I mean, I do remember throughout my time in public school. Not to say that I was really bullied personally, but I mean, I saw a bunch of shit happen that it's just like the school just never fucking about it.
Ironically enough, I just got done finishing a game called Lost Judgment that the grand majority of what the game is about bullying. And there's this one guy who, I'm not gonna exactly spoil anything, don't worry, but a lot of the plot deals with bullies and how school, like, even though the game takes place in a private school, it still shows that even these private schools, just like these public schools, they don't really do anything about it. They'll turn a blind eye and shit like that. And a lot of the plot revolves around these bullies getting fucking murdered, and then your detective main character is trying to figure out who the fuck is killing these bullies and shit like that. It's a great game, and I actually do really like the commentary on it. There is one part of the game where and the whole thing is, if one voice is being raised, then a whole bunch of other voices will be raised. And it's really good, like, social commentary like that I really like, where it's kind of like, don't be afraid to be that first voice or something like that. And it's commentary like that I do really like, and especially like in games that kind of deal with youth and shit like that. You don't really see that too often.
Yeah. And you know, bullying's a problem anywhere. It's just not exclusively in school.
I
mean,
online,
workplace,
especially.
like other.
Online, especially.
Yeah, online. Like, yeah. I mean,
it's
it's everywhere, and it's sad that it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, together we can stop.
However, I do. I mean, I don't know. These Gen Alpha kids deserve to get punched once or twice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, some furries, for example, like
the furries are fine. It's the zoos that are the problem.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm kind of sounding like a boomer here because, like, you know, the old during the old TikTok days of the furries.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
So,
yeah, that was. Yeah. I mean, that was back. Like, I mean, everyone. I think everyone had that arc of like, oh, we hate furries and we hate weebs and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually hate anyone that's a furry. Don't get me wrong, but it's like it's just like that's just being ironic.
My friend used to be a furry, and we bullied them out of it, and I feel bad about it.
No, you did a public service.
And now they hate furries because we, I guess, conditioned them to hate furries. Yeah, I'm not very proud of that one. I still think they're a furry.
Did the old fucking brainwashing technique.
I still think they're a furry. They're just in denial. Furry's one of those things that's like once you're a furry, you're always a furry. It's like being gay. Once you suck dick, you're just gay.
Yeah, you can't unsuck a penis.
Exactly. I mean, unless you kill the guy, but that's a whole other conversation.
I don't think that actually does it, but anyway.
Yeah, Ruby would know.
Yeah. So
someone off in the distance. I wonder who it is. Oh boy.
Yeah. In the dialogue I was playing on the screen as we're talking, so it's just basically Michael kind of just like seeing like a darker side of Shiro that hasn't really been shown up to this point. So what if you can see
the darkest side of me?
That's such a goated song.
Absolutely, I love that song.
But yeah, I mean, so like again, there's just to add another layer of complexity and just to add more questions around Shiro. So yeah, I mean, this whole episode, like I wanted the audience to go, it's like, you know, what's the truth behind Shiro? Like, what's the deal with the character? So if you were like at least a little bit curious about Shiro, then during this episode, then I would say I did my job.
True.
That's the writer.
This is true. I wonder. Someone oddly familiar.
And then.
Oh, I thought it was going to be Victor.
This is where
I thought it was going to be Victor. Yes. Shit, my bad.
I believe Victor does pop up again.
Shit. Fuck if I recall. I don't even remember this scene. Didn't Spaghetto write this scene? If this is the scene I'm thinking of.
Actually, this whole scene that we're about to see here was actually his idea, something that he wanted for a while.
I know he wrote a scene between, I think it was Michael and Sam, if I recall. I don't know if that ever got put in, though.
I honestly can't even remember what scene that was now that I remember. But at any point, like I remember there's this whole interaction between Michael and Sam with his idea, and it's something that he wanted. And it's actually, this scene is actually based on on something that actually happened. That you know, so as we talked about all the way back in the first episode, that Sam is based off of a childhood friend that Spaghetto knew during his younger years.
Yeah.
And she was bullied by various other people, which he never really went into too much detail regarding that. But at any rate, and one of the things that they did to bully her was they tore up her drawing. So, which is what happened in the scene here. So yeah.
It was such a nice
dog. It's actually of the school. Well, actually, it was. I remember now. It's like several other drawings.
It's ruined.
Oh, actually, no. I take that back. Actually, it was just a. Well, I think maybe it was canonically like others, but at least the one she was holding was of the school's giant oak tree that we're about to see here in a little bit.
Who would rip up a drawing like this? All right.
Yeah. So
Michael, kill those bitches. Kill them.
Yeah. So obviously, Victor ended up doing this to mess with Michael again, to just like get the point across that it's like, hey, leave Shiro alone, so that they could enact the whole grand plan of ruining the Anime Club. And fulfilling Kai's and Jeremy's partnership, which we'll talk more about that in the next episode, which I am looking very much forward to for episode 5.
Oh, Michael, he's about to fuck some booty. He's mad.
But yeah, I mean, this was a very sweet scene to write between Michael and Sam to show, like, again, it's an opportunity for the characters to grow and get closer, and just to show that, Michael has a sweet, caring side, and, Sam, is willing to, open up about herself.
Nothing a little tape won't fix.
Of situations.
It's nothing a little tape won't fix, anyways.
Yeah, that flex tape or that gorilla tape, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, that gorilla glue that fucks people's hairs up. No, CG jump scare.
Yes. Yeah,
Storm made this one. I remember. I think I'm 99% sure it's Storm.
I want to say he did, but yeah. So like, this is like one of the few times we get to see the oak tree in CG form. At least we get to see it from a more like.
I think the tree has some kind of metaphorical purpose, but I'm gonna be honest, I have no clue what the fuck it is.
Well, I mean, the whole mod has kind of like that nature theme.
Yeah.
Branching paths. Like the mod logo, it has a fucking oak tree to begin with.
What?
In universe, like the school's logo is the oak tree. So yeah. So again, it all falls back to the idea of the kind of like the metaphorical idea that what happens in life. It's like you have like so many different paths that you just. Like, you can handle situations so many different ways, and this story explores a way of like, what happens when, you're the new kid in town and you're confronted with a very difficult situation, and you probably make what's subjectively the wrong choice, and what are the consequences of that.
Yeah.
Now, I'll talk more about like all that more in episode 5 as well, because I think that's the better place to save it for. But yeah, that's kind of like the running theme, at least with the title that we had. But yeah, I mean, in terms of there being a grander meaning behind the oak tree, I mean, that really wasn't the intention, I would say. It was just more of like, we went with it because it was cool.
Yeah.
But it also did really work out for the kind of story we were trying to tell, and the idea that, it's like, like all the branching paths, like, like how one decision to like so many different happening in the school. So yeah, I guess you could I guess in the metaphorical sense, if I'm putting on my English teacher hat here, the tree represents the school and everybody in the school society, of like how they all start in one place, and then how the tree like branches out, and like how the decision Michael makes in the next episode, and how everything unfolds from there. Yeah, this is Michael kind of rizzing up Sam here.
Yes.
Like complimenting her drawing skills and all that.
Nice drawing. That color right there, that's some gangster shit.
Yeah.
Alright. Oh hell nah. Not the vor scene.
Yeah, that's some growl effect. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I had a fun time writing this. It was a very sweet scene to write.
I didn't have a fun time writing this scene.
Well, you didn't write it.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, it was nice to give Sam more dialogue, because I think at this point, like, I think that was the most dialogue she had.
Yeah,
that's the most dialogue she's had up to. It's
I
kind
think
of crazy.
In general, she's only spoken like I think once or twice, really. I think there's the scene with Michael and Sam in the classroom where Sam looks deadly terrified of Michael.
Yeah. In episodes 1, 2, she has like maybe like 3 lines. In episode 3, she probably has, I don't know, like maybe a dozen. And here, I think, I mean, not that I was keeping track.
Doubled it pretty much. This episode, you pretty much tripled it, actually, I'd say.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the idea that I had with the character all along, was that, the more time she spends with Michael and everybody else, the more she opens up about herself and she becomes more social.
Man, I wish I had a Michael in my life. I'm a lonely motherfucker.
Do be like that sometimes.
No!
And then the sweet moment is ruined by the return.
Kill him! Kill!
Yeah, obviously in this scene, Victor pretty much admits, it's like, yeah, crazy that those drawings of hers got ripped up. Wonder who did that. And then obviously Victor brings Sam in this as again a way to try to rile up Michael and throw him off balance and to get him to make the decision that they want.
Yeah, and then Victor is also like, do it, or I am the notorious art ripper. I fucking hate art, and when I see that one girl's art, grrr, get that bitch.
Yeah, but like, I mean, also, but like, when you compare Victor at this point to the other two antagonists, Kai and Randy, like he is at the moment like the only character that has actually taken a direct strike against Michael, through using Sam.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's like the intention was that again, like Victor is a character you have to take seriously every time that he is on the screen because you just don't know what this guy will do. And to add again to the creepiness and intimidation factor that I wanted him really to be like kind of like that henchman that you actually feared.
Damn, Michael got a big forearm. What the fuck that shit so big for? You don't work out. I've looked at these spreads so much and I still notice new shit. I'm going insane.
That's the beauty
Gobsmacked.
of like reviewing your old work.
Gobsmacked is one of the greatest words of all time. I like watching you squirm.
I also like the. I also like the like. This is also a callback to their last interaction when Michael like left Victor that he like brushed past him and so Victor returned favor quite literally.
Yes.
And then also foreshadowing of the confrontation that comes at the end of this episode. And then Michael obviously being conflicted about what to do because he actually fears Victor and not so much Kai and Randy.
He's a pussy.
So though
oh boy, the phone bullshit. Man, I hated this shit.
Yeah, so this was a feature that, again, it wasn't in, like, the original drafts, per se, because originally, this was all just going to be through text.
Yeah.
But, like, I remember I was scrolling on Reddit one day, and I can't remember if I was either scrolling on Reddit or I remembered that Exit Music did something like this, and I was like, well, shit, this is like pretty cool, let's use this.
Yeah, so. And then we ended up using it. The problem about the phone is, I mean, it wasn't even just that it was. By the way, we're using an older version of this phone thing. There's like 2 newer versions that I just couldn't figure out. So we ended up using the older version of I think the EMR phone it's called. It's really cool. I just couldn't fucking figure it out for the life of me. Like, dude, the maker of the phone add-on or whatever, the phone code has like a whole, I don't know, it like a whole fucking thing that you can read of how to code it. I read that shit so many times and it made less sense the more I read it. So I just ended up going with the basic phone. Which, I mean, it's good. Like, it's not as spiffy as the other one is, but we didn't really need spiffy. We just needed something that worked and looked cool. So we went with that.
Yeah, and like, it was, I just felt that, like, it was, like, a nice feature to have in the episode. Like, again, because, like, the last thing I want to do, even though, like, we are kind of cool with how we do, some stuff like with like the slide animations of the characters coming in. It's like because nowadays like I see mods that were like released within like the last year that like have like the characters like blink.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Like, or have like very fluid animations between like sprite poses and all that. And so like I mean we kind of like just do like the old traditional like they have this pose, then they switch to the next pose of that line. Like, there's no, like, special effects with it. So, yeah, we're kind of old school in that sense still. But, I wanted to have, like, at least something kind of to, like, keep up on the whole trends of, like, adding details to the story. So, I came across that phone thing. I don't remember how now exactly, but I was like, this is something that, I think would be pretty cool to have.
Yeah.
So... glad we were able to work, but yeah, it was a bitch to add.
Yeah, like I said, we had to downgrade.
To work the way we wanted it to. Like, also, it's like, like even just like kind of like just like sometimes it's like also when we'd like when we would like review the episodes, like just skip through, just make sure there's no errors. Like we had lots of problems with phones, like getting to work. So yeah, it was painful, but we were able to get it to work.
Eventually, was not a very fun process, but yeah, like I said, that originally was just all in like the text dialogue as like the normal dialogue, And then, yeah. So, but yeah, I like when we add shit like that. I think in the original version of Arc 1, which I think you can still play to this day, if I recall, because it's on the Reddit.
Maybe.
I can't recall.
I don't know if the link still works.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the phone was added in on the second version. So, oh yeah, if you want to play the older versions, yeah, I mean, if you want to play the older versions, if the links still work, then yeah, you can. But obviously, we're using the released version of the mod. Guy's little actually, Santa Claus up in his bitch.
Well, actually, what you guys see here is like my master copy. So like, I have the ability to like do like this and other commands.
And you're not getting a master copy, you little bitch.
Yeah. So in this whole scene, Michael turns to Kayla to ask her side of the story about everything. So, and then Kayla gives what her take is on the whole situation, which
darker works.
Which is which is actually like an opinion that's different from Ruby. So it's like so it's like it's kind of to add like it's like even though Kayla and Ruby are tight, they don't necessarily see eye to eye on everything. And it's like actually on one of the times that like they have a difference of opinion on.
I also have a difference in opinion on Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, canonically.
I still think it's so fucking funny how Freddy Fazbear's is canon.
Yeah, and then also just a classic goth girl talk. How I imagine like goth girls would like talk about like regular quote unquote basic girls.
I need to actually. I'm friends with emo. I'm friends with emo people. I should have just asked them to write these scenes. Fuck.
Yeah, and then a little joke here. It's like, well, at least that's been the consistent answer. That Shiro has a taste in basic girls.
Oh yeah, that's really shit right there.
Yeah,
Shiro. I mean,
it's kind of crazy to think that like Shiro would. It's kind of crazy to think that. I don't know if I actually believe this, but like, what if like Shiro was interested in Kayla or Ruby? Do you think that he could pull one of them?
My thing about like the whole Shiro, Kayla, Ruby thing is there are some relationships between guys and girls that are pretty much just strictly platonic. Like my mom had a couple guy friends and their friendships were 100% platonic. Like they could get drunk together and they wouldn't mess around or anything like that. That's always the friendship that's always the relationship I saw between Shiro, Kayla, and Ruby. I mean, well, more Shiro and Kayla and Ruby, not Kayla and Ruby. But
yeah, Kayla and Ruby have their own little
but
intricacies.
Shiro, I've always seen as like the third wheel to Kayla and Ruby, if that makes sense. Like he's there, he's friends with them, but he's the one who's usually like he's just kind of in the background. He's just chilling, like during the skate park thing. Like he's kind of the third wheel there. He's just chilling, doing homework and shit, like a loser. So I've always I don't imagine Shiro like I don't even mean this as a dig on his personality or whatever. I just don't think that I don't even think that Shiro would be interested in them.
Yeah, I mean obviously we have his own love interest set up by the end of the story.
Yeah.
But I mean the only times we ever like had Kayla and Ruby like maybe flash of love interest was of course at Michael. We did kind of explored that in episode 2 and episode
not this phone bullshit again. Oh yeah, we were intricate on that date, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I was so the date is actually canonical. The time actually that you see is not like it's actually
that's just that
for whatever reason
it just stays there.
Phone actually no, so the phone will read whatever is on your clock.
Oh,
so I've just noticed that it takes that, but like the number itself is fictitious that we came up with that ourselves. It may be a real number actually. I don't
if
know.
I recall,
if it is,
I think 818. I think I came up with the number if I recall. I know one of the parts of the number.
Yeah, because it's like I think that's like a band reference that you.
Oh wow, I referenced that shit. Nah, that's crazy. Fucking okay. It's a Hollywood Undead reference. They have a song called Scene for Dummies. That's an unreleased song because of how vulgar it was. And at the end of the song, this one guy, Shady Jeff, and this is like his one vocal appearance in anything that this band did officially. At the end, he just starts spouting random fucking numbers, which if I recall is like California zip codes, I think.
Yeah, because I don't think I think 818 is like, yeah, it's like a reference to that. So I don't think that's an actual area code.
As far as I'm concerned, yeah. Like I said, I literally just ripped that out of that song. So that's where that number came from. And no, this mod does not take place in fucking California. We're not that masochistic.
Well, actually, canonically, like if it was in the United States, I always kind of imagine it being in California.
I've never been to California, so I can't say shit.
I've been.
I mean, this story is crazy enough. I imagine Florida.
That too, yeah. I mean, fuck. Yeah, actually, one thing about the phone, like, so one thing I had a problem with that I actually just ended up. So I wanted like the texts to like scroll in one at a time, but I couldn't get that to work. So I just kind of ended up settling on just like fucking just have the last message just scroll in.
Yeah.
Because like I just for the life of me not get the message. The mom messages here like I kind of had the same issue here. So yeah, but yeah, like I said, I think that people just appreciate that, you know, that we actually did this, and not so much more that's like, oh, it's like it worked out 100% exactly the way expected to.
Yeah, so it was good. I like the phone. Definitely is just a nice quality of life thing.
Yeah. So yeah, of course, the mom giving standard mom advice.
Don't progress the story like that.
Exactly. So we need to have drama in it to make the characters illogical decisions so that we can continue the plot going.
Unfortunate.
Why the fuck are they all so damn depressed?
Well, obviously because of Kai having his people mess with Michael, and the rumors kind of kicking back up,
and then Michael's just like,
yeah, so it's a very down.
It's happening.
Yeah, Michael's like, yeah, I'm here, and everybody else is depressed and worried and stressed.
It is what it is. Yeah, this gigolos.
Yeah, that was a spaghetto line again here.
I thought that said juggalos. I'm like, why the fuck are we making an ICP reference? And then it's fucking gigolos. What the hell? It sounds like a slur.
It's a term to describe like a gay prostitute.
Is it? I've never heard of that in my life.
It's not something that's like ever
like,
really commonly thrown around. But
hang on, yes, I know something that can help us. Alexa, what does a gigolo mean?
According to Wikipedia, a gigolo is a male escort or social companion.
It's real? That's a fucking real thing. Okay, sure. Alexa, wrong. You're wrong.
Thanks for the feedback.
She said thanks for the feedback.
Yeah, so in this scene here, so despite that, they're obviously under pressure by Kai. They're gonna still continue moving on with their club and promoting it around the school. So they do the old classic, they're getting ready for the festival, which again, that's another old DDLC trope that everything revolves around the festival, which we don't show the festival in Branching Paths. So I actually think that was actually kind of clear like that. He's like, I don't want to, which I did agree with, and even like my mod Encore is a post-festival mod, but canonically, if you were to compare Branching Paths to like how it is in the base DLC timeline, it's basically I try to line up the dates to where it would be like kind of like roughly granted the story itself takes place over the course of a couple of weeks, so the festival date in the Branching Paths timeline is probably later than it would be in the base DDLC game timeline, but I tried to at least have those timelines kind of match up as much as I could.
I mean, wait, isn't this... Well, it doesn't... BP starts at the first day of school, doesn't it? Oh, wait, no, that's Michael's first day at school, so that can happen whenever.
No, it does. It does happen on the first day of school, but the base DDLC, it's never really established, actually, how far along. Yeah. But I think it does a good job of implying that it's, like, early on in the school semester.
Maybe.
So probably, like, maybe within the first couple of weeks of the semester, but, like, branching past that timeline, it starts, like, literally on day one.
Yeah.
Of the semester. So, and at this point in episode 4, this is like the second week of the semester.
Yeah.
Because if I'm remembering this correctly, so it starts on a Monday, which I think I had like in game, like, so obviously I based this, of course, I think I based this on 2022. So it was like the first Monday in September. And then episode 2 took place on the Friday.
Oh, yeah.
And then episode 3 takes place on a Monday, and then episode 4 happens on Tuesday. So this is like the second Tuesday of September, which I think that evens out to be September 15th. which is what the date is on the phone. So yes, I was very, very deliberate. Actually, I'm actually just scrolling by my old calendar. Well, it'd be a Wednesday, so yeah, I mean, it evens out to be that, basically. Because I think one of the episodes, like, it takes place over the course of a couple days, so I can't remember, honestly.
Maybe.
If it was the last episode or this episode, I mean, I'm just more commentating on, like, the actual specific of the making of.
Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, everything took months.
What the fuck was that?
So this is where we get the confrontations, which this was kind of fun to write.
This is when my boy gets jumped.
Yeah, this is and this is also the first time we get to see Kai, Victor, and Randy all together at the same place.
I remember
music
the
kind
scene.
of will slowly build and crescendo, and then Randy comes in, and then of course we get Kai. Yeah, so and basically all there really is to say about the scene is that, they just intimidate Michael and just get in his face, just like, leave the MA club or we're really gonna start having problems. And again, to add pressure to Michael to really just put him to that bind to make the decision. And this is where Michael is confronted eventually, that he has to make the decision of whether he's going to stay with the MA club and get harassed by these three guys and possibly more on a daily basis, or if he's gonna cave and give in.
He does not believe in the power of friendship.
Yeah, the power of friendship for villains. I just kind of just base this on, like, just a classic, like, example of bullying that, they just pull up on you, like, get in your face, like, talk down to you, friend, like, try to, again, pressure you. That's like, yeah, make up your mind. I do have a little commentary about a thing here if I can find it. Okay, yeah, to this scene right here. So in the scene that Victor threatens to, like, call Sam and just, like, basically tarnish, like, slander him to her, thereby potentially ruining Michael's chances of, like, befriending Sam, maybe even more. So that actually had to be altered because granted, most of the line is the same, that, like, Victor did make that threat, but there was an additional threat that had to be cut out at the request of Ghetto, where Victor made the comment that he could set up one of his buddies with Sam. and again, it was what the idea again was to, like, kind of just, like, drive the bullet point and get further under Michael's skin, and maybe it was kind of redundant at that point. But
awesome.
But yeah, I originally that was a thing, and Spaghetto asked, as again, he wanted to, I guess, I don't know really why. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, and yeah, there wasn't too many instances where Spaghetto asked me to remove or, like, just change the scene around Sam, basically, but he was at least upfront with me when we started. It's like, hey, I reserve the right to, like, change things or, like, veto ideas that you have regarding Sam, and I was like, you know what, that's fair. So again, I respect that. Again, I will just say, in my opinion, out of, like, everything else that happens, it's like, I didn't think that was bad line to be in there, but it is what it is.
I had a nickel for every time Michael was called Mikey. I have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot. It's weird to happen twice.
And Michael just trying to buy himself time. And Kai just kind of, like, relents. It's like, okay, I can at least give you that. And then Shiro rolls up to where...
Oh, yeah, Shiro rolls up. I see what you did there.
That wasn't intentional, but this is where Shiro has to, come clean Michael. And obviously, Michael also admits, it's like, hey, I've been also been asking around. And then Shiro, and this is, like, the first version, of like, what we hear of the whole story from Shiro, which again, we find out later specifically who this anonymous person is. Yes. But yeah, so then this is where we get Shiro's account. So we get Shiro's account, we have Kayla's account, we have Ruby's account, and we have, like,
we have everyone's Discord
obviously Kai.
We have everyone's account. We can play Minecraft now.
And then we also get a little bit more into the backstory and history between Shiro and Kai. Yeah, which it basically we learn here that it extends back to their time in middle school together when they first met.
And they're both fucking
originally.
nerds.
Yeah, originally, actually, in the early drafts, we actually had it go back to elementary school.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, I think, but we ended up changing it just to kind of just condense things and make things a little less complicated.
Make things feel a little more fresh too.
Yeah.
Because if I'm back in elementary school, then I think at that point they would have just switched schools.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, that's what I would have done at least. Well, I guess, it's circumstantial, but...
Yeah, and then this is also the first time...
oh yeah, Charlotte, this is the first time she's mentioned. I think she makes, she makes her first appearance in, Arc 2, right?
Episode 6 of her debut, but, yeah, I believe this is the first time her character is here.
Yeah.
So, you know, we get kind of like an idea of her character.
Oh yeah, and then this is also the unexplained backstory in the mod of Kai's fucking, what is it, his breast pocket.
Yeah, like, so, yeah, like, again, the whole idea that, you know, Kai, like, won the privilege science fair, so he decided to modify his unit. Which, again, like, again, that was another spaghetti idea that, like, I was able to work in the game board to get, you know, a justification for it. And I recognize that, of course, not everything needs, like, a special explanation or justification.
It's always better to have one than not.
I personally like, yeah, and I like to, like, have a, like, at least have there be, like, a reason. Even if, you know, it's not, like, some deep-seated reason. So, obviously, Michael learns the full truth, and, he
that's the end.
Wonders what to do. Well, there is the post-credit scene with Michael and Ruby, and I remember when I was writing the scene, we kind of went back and forth between who we wanted to have in this, whether it was between Ruby and Kayla. And originally, I wanted Kayla because I felt like Michael had already had enough one-on-one time with Ruby, especially with episodes 2 and 3 when they had their scenes together. So I wanted to have Michael and Kayla have like a little bit more time together. Now, granted, Michael and Kayla had their own time together in episode 2 and, you know, earlier in this episode as well, but I kind of felt like episode 2, it was like it was more geared towards like Michael and Ruby, like with the time that they spent together. Even though that Michael and Kayla got the CG, but like I just kind of felt like that, you know, like they spent like the most time together, so I wanted to have like this episode originally for Michael and Kayla, but eventually Spaghetto kind of won out on that idea that it was going to be, you know, Ruby who talked to. So, which again, that didn't really matter because this conversation would have been basically pretty much the same. So
yeah,
and of course Michael, you know, like, you know, kind of just like, you know, obviously, you know, very upset about the situation. Ruby, you know, her pleas going on deaf ears.
I'm not getting any bitches.
Yeah, one thing about the Ruby surprise, like, even though like it was just on screen, but like I really like the, you know, like her big like. When she goes, like, I guess, like, the big eyes.
I was about to say, there's something else big about this character, but I don't think we need to say it.
I think that's something that speaks for itself.
Ah, yes. Alright, I guess we'll call it there. Shit. Yeah, that was a lot shorter than usual.
Yeah, so that was episode 4. Hope you all enjoyed it.
Or
we'll see you guys for, well, I think one of my best episodes and my personal favorite episodes, episode 5.
My favorite episode is episode 0. Which is the one that was never written because fuck you. That's it. Goodbye. Yeah!